Hey, this is Jeff Rose. Welcome to GoodFinancialSense.com. Today I want to talk a little bit about why you need to buy life insurance. Now I know life insurance is a boring topic. If I gave you a lecture on life insurance right now, I'm sure you're going to click away, fall asleep, pass out, daydream. I get it. But here's the thing, if you have a family, if you have a loved one that you truly care about, then there's no reason why you shouldn't have some form of life insurance. I was surprised and alarmed when I read the statistic that said over 50 million US households have no life insurance whatsoever. Over 50 million. Please do not be one of those statistics. Go out and buy some life insurance. But how do you do it and how much does it cost? Yes, I know sometimes life insurance can be confusing. It can be like an expense that you just don't want to have to pay because we have so many expenses nowadays. But let me reassure you of two things. One, it's really easy to get a quote, and two, it doesn't cost that much. How do you get a quote of term life insurance? Well, here's the good news. You don't have to go that far. On my blog at GoodFinancialSense.com, I have a quote engine that will give you a life insurance quote in less than 10 minutes. And actually, if you go through it pretty quickly, it'd be less than 5 minutes. And you can have a quote for the cheapest term life insurance provider that exists. And literally takes you less than 5 minutes. How much do you need to buy or how much should you buy? That's a harder question to answer. Let me give you my own personal story to help you better assess what might apply to you. When me and my wife first got married, I purchased a $250,000 term life policy. Didn't have any kids, we just had the house, so I felt at the time that $250,000 was enough. And at that time it probably was. When we had our first child though, things changed. I now realize that I was the provider not only for my wife but our son, so I felt I needed to up it up. I then ended up purchasing a separate $500,000 term policy. So in total I had $750,000 of term life on myself. And for the longest time I felt that that was more than plenty, but then we had another addition. We had our second son. And at that point in time, I was 30. I really didn't think that I thought we might have a third son, but I didn't want to go through the whole life insurance process again. So therefore, I went out and bought a third term policy for a total of $1.5 million. So as of right now, I have over $2.25 million of term life. And the way I came up with that number is because I wanted to make sure that all my family was taken care of. If my wife didn't want to go back to work, I wanted her not to have to worry about it, not worry about the car payment, the mortgage payment, the kids' college, and all their expenses. So that's where I determined that amount. That might seem like a lot, but depending on where you live, depending on how much income you make, that might not be nearly enough. And all that cost is very minimal, giving us the security that we need, making sure that our family is protected. So if you have any more questions on term life insurance, you know where to find me, GoodFinancialSense.com. And if you're looking for a quick quote engine on how much term life will cost you today, click on the site. It'll literally take you less than 5 minutes. I appreciate your time. We'll see you soon.